I can't tease anything more than what you haven't heard already.
We've heard a little bit.
But honestly, what I will say, what I can say, I just feel like, and what I sort of hope for, I think it's going to be more of a review. I think we're looking at more of this Nick in his lone soldier mode, this hero's journey. When you look at what he's lost up to this point, I think it's there's a lot more at stake than there was even in the first season. You know what I mean? You lose your aunt that you didn't know. It doesn't really set off the same amount of emotions as it does now losing your girlfriend, losing your mother, whom you fought side by side with, possibly losing this young woman that you're going to bring up as your who's been your apprentice too, and those things, because now there's more of an emotional connection that wasn't there before. So I think we're talking about him taking more chances, and so in that, right, him taking more chances, I hope that there is more conflict between Nick and Hank, in so much as I'm not going to go down that I'm not going to blaze that trail with you. You know what I mean? I know what you're capable of. I know what you've done in the past. I question things that we've done up to this point. You know what I mean? Which has brought death at our door. And so I, you're hoping that it creates that kind of conflict to where, because of this climax and this resolution that sort of happens, and that because that's what you want. You want tension. You know what I mean? Between the characters, and it's a lot more enjoyable and much more fun for the actor to play, and then then there's a journey, for everybody.
Does that mean you're going to bring him on the human side, keep him tethered to that?
I'm keeping, Hank stays on the ground. Hank stays on the more human side of things. You know what I mean? And as I was telling people, I enjoy. What I enjoy most about the show for me is the more procedural aspect of it, the more detective nature of trying to figure out what it is. Putting your collective heads together to sort of figure out, okay, these are some of the clues we have, and it's matching with some of what we discovered, and let's put these pieces together. That 7, ish, sort of thing. And also, I think that, I like the idea also that Hank is more of a physical presence. I mean, if you notice, as the seasons have gone on, I say less and less. And I've kind of taken on that to sort of give myself liberty to be more expressive visually. I comment differently on scenes. You know what I mean? When we see, because hey, there's no lines for Hank. Niggas figuring it out, or I say, or I've condensed my lines and taken. All he needs is a word and a look, and that says it all. We've come to our 4th and 5th season now, where you know what he's going to say, or you know what he thinks about certain things. So he doesn't need to say much anymore. He represents the audience, the skeptics, who still don't believe what this is, right? And so I'm still sort of keeping. There's some skepticism in his brain of like, this is still weird shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm here because I kind of have to be. You know what I mean? So I'm still not fully on board. So, he's still sort of him sort of sitting back and kind of going, really? Okay. That kind of thing. And I like that, because, again, it does keep him grounded. You know what I mean? It keeps him in reality.
But Agent Chavez is coming up on board, so now is that going to be a problem?
Yeah, but Agent Chavez is going to be like a gnat. But yeah, she's going to come on. And Elizabeth Rodriguez is great. I mean, and she's got, it's like, again, you're talking about an actor and a woman who is grounded, who is a force of nature in her own right, as a woman, as a human being. And so again, that brings some gravitas and just sort of a force that's just like, this is new energy, that we haven't had on the show. That you have to sort of deal with. She is uncompromising, I think, as a person. A woman that I've known and seen her work on stage, everything like that. She's that kind of like force of nature that you love, and so it's to be respected. And so she's going to bring that to her work, and it's going to be like, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Now that Wu is a lot more knowledgeable and really like super studied up on all his lore previously, do you think that now that like Nick's kind of more lone cannon, lone wolf, will you guys be teamed up more to do things?
I think so. I mean, I like again. I look at Hank as this physical presence and Wu as the cerebral presence, and I am not intimidated by that at all. Like that's what it is. And Wu is a bright and intelligent and inquisitive, character. You know what I mean? And Hank is not. Hank is a cop, and he knows what his strengths and his weaknesses are. And so it's like, help me put some of these pieces together so we can solve this, and so that's what he is. And so you bring Wu, who's just got another head, for the creatures and science and things like that. That's just going to make the pot richer. I really think.
What was the most? Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
Any talks of a new romance for Hank?
You know what? They're possible, but I hope not. I mean, it's like, all that does is kind of cloud the issue. You know what I mean? Like, it just does. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if they can connect it in some way, something that is great. But if not, it's like, again, Hank, listen, he's been divorced 4 times for a reason. Like, he can't find love under any management. So that's just the way it goes. I gotta say, I still got life to live just as an actor myself, so I'm gonna save my romance days for later on down the line. I got other characters, I got other stuff in my, in my toolkit. I'm gonna bring it up later. Yeah.
And now, I mean, you go.
Well, he got one more. David's not. He hasn't left. One more.
Okay. So I mean, I still fear for Hank when they're in fights, but he's been holding it down really well. Is there any? Do you go to them and say, hey, can I get a few more weapons, or can we get Hank in some other classes? Can we beef him up a little bit just so we can?
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting you say that because I've actually told our fight coordinators people to simplify. Again, I like to keep Hang rooted in reality. So like all the chainmail and the cat of nine tails, it's like no. I have my Roscoe. I have my gunpowder. That you shoot somebody, they die. You know what I mean? So it's like we're gonna do some hand to hand, and when I feel like I'm overwhelmed, I'm gonna do like the cops do. I'm shooting motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Just put that on a shirt.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what happens. And so, and like even like my fights, I tell them simplify them. Like we're gonna go like 2 or 3 hits, and like I'm gonna get hit a couple times, hit him back, and it's over. I either drop him or he drops me, or I take out my Roscoe and you get shot. Like all of this like elaborate like Matrix fights and shit like that. Like that's not real. You know what I mean? And so I don't know, that answered, you know what I mean? Like I like to keep them grounded in reality, you know what I mean?
And it's more of a distinction between you and
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's exactly it, because the thing is, I can't compete with that, and it doesn't make sense to try, so it always makes sense to go the other way, and so it makes it more interesting that way. Thank you so much.
Thank you.